Hello and welcome to another edition of Democratic Newsroom. I'm joined here by my colleagues in our conference room to discuss the biggest burning topic of the week. And yes, it's been what's transpired in Parliament. We've seen two very interesting and rather fiery debates, whether it was on Vande Matram or on electoral reforms, or pointedly at SIR. But of the two face-offs, who won the battle on the two issues of narratives and much more? I'll open this up. Joining us here in the Democratic Newsroom, as always, Rajdeep Sardesai, Sahil Joshi, who we've not had to teleport for a change. He's with us here in our studios. We've got Gaurav Sawant and Sneha Murdani for a change, who's joining us at the Democratic Newsroom. Rajdeep, can I begin with you? What did you make of the parliamentary face-off? What did you make of the two debates, Vande Matram and electoral reforms?
You know, Akshita, if you looked at this as two battles within a war, I would say when it came to Vande Matram, my belief is the government scored a self-goal. Because they looked at a debate which was really being looked through the rear view mirror, which in a way was designed, it almost seemed to demonize Jawaharlal Nehru yet again. In the process, what happened? You dragged in others like Gurudev Rabindranath Tagore. And at a time when the country has so many contemporary pressing issues, from fires to air pollution to the indigo crisis, to go back to what happened in 1937, I feel was scoring a clear self-goal. So on that debate, I think the government for once got its steps completely wrong. The other debate, which was just the other way around, electoral reforms, the opposition was confused. Was this debate about electoral reforms? Was it about SIR or was it about vote chori? And by the end, when Amit Shah gave what I thought was a hard-hitting, very direct speech, the opposition really had no response and therefore walked out. So I think it was very interesting that if this was a series of debates, two debates, it would be 1-1. I think government scored a big self-goal in my view on Vande Matram. They just got the timing, the issues wrong, and it also gave the opposition an opportunity to tag the government. What were you doing during the freedom struggle? What was the RSS doing? All of which I think pushed the government on the back foot. On the other hand, when it came to electoral reforms, I think the opposition was confused and was not sure what exactly were you going to try and put across to make it an issue that resonated. So 1-1 is the way I put it. Okay, so one to the government, one to the opposition.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this issue by issue, right? We'll give 10 minutes on Vande Matram, like in Parliament, and 10 minutes to electoral reforms. Gaurav, first on Vande Matram, what did you think of the debate? Do you think government scored a self-goal like Rajdeep does?
So it depends whether you're looking at it as a T20 match or you're looking at it as a test series. And if you were to look at it from the government's perspective or the ideological perspective, because the government does not look at it as the headlines of the day. For them, it's more ideological. They want people of Bengal and they want this generation to know how in 1937, under pressure of Muhammad Ali Jinnah, there were people who buckled under pressure, and instead of the entire Vande Matram, you agreed only to 2 stanzas of Vande Matram, which led to then truncating Vande Matram. Ultimately, Jinnah was emboldened कि इनको दबा सकते हो दबाओ. Ultimately, it led to partition of the country in 1947, and the Muslims who stayed behind, many of them don't even sing those 2 stanzas of Vande Matram, as the Home Minister gave out an entire list, listing out Congress party leaders, Samajwadi party leaders, RJD leaders till date who refused to sing the Vande Matram. So, you know, whatever they sought to achieve in 1937, in 2025, you realize politics of appeasement never works. When you look at it at that level, that generation may not have realized this. The effort was that this generation should realize it.
Okay. Sahil, what do you think?
See, in Vande Mataram debate, it looked like that the government was ready with the charge sheet, you know. And in the debate on the electoral reforms, it was the opposition party was ready with the charge sheet against the government. So exactly played, you know, completely reversal roles for the opposition and the government. As far as Vande Mataram is concerned, you know, most of the people thought that there were no new ideas to speak about. Every speech was almost similar from the government side because there were no new points to it. The Vande Mataram debate has been going on in this country for a very long time. And most of the issues which were discussed by the government, put by the government, even by the Prime Minister in Rajya Sabha by Amit Shah, were already known and they were debated, they were already discussed. But it gave the opposition party, specifically, I would like to mention Priyanka Gandhi, an opportunity to come up with a completely new thing altogether. You know, her remarks about, once for all, decide a day and prepare some 999 charges against Pandit Nehru and let's discuss it forever. So that kind of thing came out from the opposition party. So it looked like that what government was hoping for, it couldn't materialize in the Vande Matram
Gaurav,
debate.
what do you think of
Just
Priyanka
one
Gandhi's
line,
speech?
just one line before you pass it on. What Gaurav said about that, whether it's a test match or a T20, the T20 they definitely lost. I think you will agree to that.
But I look at it as a much wider thing.
Yeah,
I mean, in my own country, if I can't sing Vande Matram and somebody has a veto on singing Vande Matram, it's bizarre.
Then of course.
Who has a veto?
It's
No,
bizarre.
please, he
You
has
know,
to now.
this
You
is-
see,
no,
who has
no,
a veto?
no, no,
1 minute, sir.
no,
You have used a word. You are
Yes,
saying there is a
it's a
veto
veto.
on Vande Matram.
There's a veto
Who?
on Vande
From whom?
Matram.
From whom?
That
For
only
the
two,
longest
only
time,
two
the
paras
Sangh
will be
Parivar-
sung.
the
Only
Sangh
two
Parivar
paras
never
will be
sang
sung.
Vande Matram all these
So
years.
whether
Suddenly
Sangh-
you have discovered
whether
Vande Matram.
Sangh can
Who
sing
has a
it or
veto?
not, whether
No,
Sangh
who has a
sings or
veto?
not is immaterial.
Who has a veto?
I don't care if
Who
Sangh
has a
sings
veto?
or not.
You have made a comment.
So I have made a
Please
comment
respond
that
to
only two paras will be sung and not more will be sung. And what
Gurudev
about leaders?
Rabindranath Tagore, no less.
Gurudev Rabindranath
Said
Tagore
very
in his
clearly.
wisdom in 1937.
So in
situation-
2025, you are going
situation
to
in-
decide why did the great Gurudev Rabindranath Tagore, the Nobel laureate,
situation-
why did
the situation in
1937 India
1937
cannot be compared to
So
2025?
situation
I
with
would
them
have
is
liked
different.
a 10-hour debate
The
on
situation
airline
in-
turbulence, on what's happening with the way
Have
illegalities
another
go on in
10-hour
Goa,
debate.
on
Have a 20-hour debate.
No, that
Have-
doesn't happen.
have that
That
debate.
did happen.
What was the
Okay,
need?
That did happen.
I would have
What
wanted
was
a
the need?
10-hour debate on pollution
Very
because
good,
the
well
day
said.
when Vande
Have
Matram
a
debate took
20-hour
place,
debate on it.
So do
the
you feel it was
AQI
unnecessary?
No,
a
it was
Vande Matram
absolutely
debate?
unnecessary
Yeah.
because 10 hours were set aside and nothing new was said in this entire discussion. Why weren't we discussing pollution is my question. It's not just Delhi. It's not something that is to be discussed in the Delhi Assembly. It is something that is to be discussed in the country because in India, unlike many other countries, the effort has to be from at all levels. It's going to be a multi-agency, a central government, a state government level effort. On the day Vande Matram was getting discussed, the AQI of Delhi was 650 plus. And not just that, let me tell you, it's not just Delhi. There were other cities as well who were reporting very bad air quality, particularly in the Indo-Gangetic Plain, which is North India. My question is, and that struck to me as a journalist and as a citizen, why isn't pollution being given 1 hour?
And
hour?
that is the
Why
pitch.
not?
That is the pitch. That is the pitch.
That's
Put,
it.
that is the pitch put forward
Put-
by the opposition parties. That why are we discussing the issues which are some 150
Because
years
it's
how
what
old?
I
does it
call a
matter?
WMD, weapon of mass distraction. This was a classic weapon of mass distraction at a time when the country has got urgent issues to discuss with. You're going back to the 1930s and scoring self-goals because your own track record. Who was Shama Prasad Mukherjee aligning with in 1930s? And if you want a history lesson, then both sides will put their points across. But I don't think this was a moment for a history lesson in Parliament when there are far more urgent issues concerning India of today. I want a Viksit Bharat
what
in
makes-
2047. I don't want to know what
But
happened.
Gaurav
What
hasn't
makes a
answered the
Vande
question.
Mataram
T20
debate?
and
No,
test
I
match.
want to know whose veto. He has made a very serious point. There's a veto
Okay,
on
so
Vande
two
Mataram.
questions. Two questions. Let
And
him
you
answer
know-
now.
No,
Let
he
him
must
answer.
answer it.
He'll answer. Let him
Amit
answer.
Shah has answered it.
Who?
Amit Shah answered it. He gave out a list of people who refused to sing Vande Matram, and because of which it is only two paras are also sung. All those details are
No,
out
the
in
two
public
paras and
domain.
saying Vande Mataram are two different issues.
So,
It's
you know,
completely different issues.
Several
altogether.
times in the past
these
we've
two are
had
different
ruling
issues.
all of
party
you,
MPs
all
or-
of you want to speak and not let me speak. It's
Let
fine.
him-
Sorry,
When
let him
somebody
finish.
else
No,
Let
he's
him
not
finish, let
answered
him
my
finish.
question. Who's giving a veto?
Okay, he'll answer it. Go ahead. Go
Are
ahead.
you stopped from singing Vande
So
Mataram?
let him finish. Let
like
him
the
finish.
Home Minister told Rahul Gandhi, you will not decide what I will speak and when I will speak.
Oh, arey wah. Well done.
Okay, Gaurav, now go ahead.
So
Go
I
ahead.
will decide.
No, but you're not
I
answering
will
my
Okay,
question.
decide.
as Speaker
I will-
Birla,
Come
I will
on.
now say Gaurav gets the floor. Go ahead.
No, Om Prakash, if you go by Mr. Birla, then you'll be biased against us. But go
No,
ahead.
no, Rajdeep, come on.
Okay, go ahead.
So you're suggesting you're one side then?
No, go ahead.
Go ahead.
That's a fact.
Gaurav-
But be that as it may, the fact of the matter remains that a tree to become tall and strong has to have strong roots. And you have to know what the civilization here is all about. Okay, if you can't even say Vande Mataram in this country,
That's
if
wrong.
you can't even...
That's
Who
wrong.
says
Hold
you
on.
can't?
Okay.
No, it's
I'm
Let him
building...
finish.
No, it's
Please
wrong.
let him finish.
I'm
Please let him
building-
finish.
No, but at least we should not have the facts
you
wrong.
So
can't
Vande
mislead the
Mataram,
viewers.
We have been
Vande
singing
Mataram is
Vande
not just
Mataram
two
in our
words.
school.
It's a...
He has been
We have been
beyond
singing
two
Vande Mataram in our
paragraphs,
school.
coming to
Okay,
beyond
okay.
two
Marathi
paragraphs.
medium
Just
school
clarify
used
on
to
that.
have Vande
Beyond
Mataram.
Clarify
two
on that quickly,
paragraphs,
Gaurav. Clarify
beyond
quickly
two
on that.
stanzas.
That is Rashtragan.
Beyond
Okay,
two
okay, let him
stanzas.
clarify. Let him clarify now. Clarify on what
beyond 2 stanzas? How many of you know that Vande Mataram beyond those 2 stanzas?
How many
Beyond-
of us in Parliament know the full
So
song?
that is
I'm
not my
challenging
point.
half of
That
them.
is, and I'm not blaming you for this. I'm not blaming anybody for not knowing beyond those 2 stanzas because we were only taught those 2 stanzas. The effort, I believe, is so that future generations know that policy of appeasement never works. You should not have a policy of
Why
the
not
most
make a public
pressing
speech
issue
about
of
it?
this
Why
day?
not make a
Sneha.
public speech about it?
Is that the most
Why-
pressing
why
issue
the
of
Parliament
the
has
day?
to be
Gaurav,
decided?
the other aspect.
Yeah, I'm just
Sneha.
asking you, is that the most pressing issue of the day for
So
the
you have-
Parliament to dedicate 10 hours to
just 10
discuss
hours.
it?
The
Just 10
Parliament,
hours?
Parliament does not function only one day. All the walkouts, all that everything else is happening. Instead of walking out, come sit, wait, discuss all the other issues also. You know, oh, this is exactly like the same argument. Why do you want a Ram Mandir at Ayodhya? You can have a hospital there. You can have a school there. You can have this there.
This was a
It is not
short
an either
Parliament
or.
session.
It is not
No.
an either or.
Gaurav, this was a
now that
short
you have
Parliament
a Divya
session.
Bhavya Ram Mandir in Ayodhya and land has been given elsewhere for construction of other structures. बॉस तुमको जितने स्कूल बनाने हैं बनाओ, तुमको जितने वहां अस्पताल बनाने हैं बनाओ,
नहीं,
तुमको
analogy
जो
गलत है
बनाने
ना,
हैं,
क्योंकि
तुमको
neither
जो बनाने हैं
session
बनाओ.
was relevant.
Similarly-
Go ahead. Now
similarly-
Rajdeep,
similarly-
Gaurav, hold on.
he
Now
has
let
used the
Rajdeep
word
come in.
appeasement.
You have
He has
other
used-
hours. You discuss every other issue
Okay,
under
now
the
let
sun.
Rajdeep come in,
Sir,
please.
you have used the word appeasement in the context of Vande Mataram. My point is, in the 1930s, you can turn Hindu Mahasabha was aligning with Muslim League to form governments. Is that appeasement? L.K. Advani goes to Pakistan and makes a statement in praise of Jinnah.
And
Is
that
that
cooked his
appeasement?
goose.
Just one
That
thing.
cooked his
No.
goose.
Fact is, देखो
He-
ऐसा है.
he made
How
that up.
far back in time do you? I maintain. I want to see a better India for my children.
Absolutely.
That better India is not going to be built by having a 10-hour debate why Vande Mataram has 2 stanzas and not more.
That better India will
according
also
to
not
me,
be built
that is
when
a clear
I cannot
red
even
herring,
follow my
a
own
weapon of mass
systems.
distraction, because it also exposed, and that's why I think the self-goal was scored, it also exposed where was the RSS during 1930s, where was it during Quit India movement. You see, history is a very contentious issue. I don't think that is the issue of our times. The issue of our times is to look at the present and the future by looking at...
Unless you have a
this is
strong
exactly-
past, unless there is reconciliation from the past, you cannot have a strong
What is the
future.
reconciliation
Okay?
by having a
And
debate on Vande Mataram?
Vande Mataram
we all respect our national song.
Okay, what is the outcome of the debate?
What
What
is
is
the
the
outcome?
outcome of the debate?
So at
Is
least
it
What
to
is the
force
outcome?
everybody to
Has-
sing
Okay,
Vande
come on.
Mataram?
have the
Everyone,
government-
everyone is asking questions of
No, no,
Gaurav right
no.
now.
Have,
Just hold on.
have the
Hold
government
on.
have the government come to the conclusion and the parliament come to the conclusion now that the whole song needs to be taught in the school? Have they come to the conclusion of that?
Well-
What is the outcome of the outcome
Okay,
of
you
the whole
asked the
debate?
question. Let him answer now. Yeah.
Are you now preempting a debate has happened? Debate has happened. Now let's see what the next action is. You know, again, like I say, there are
Okay.
some people who move by 24-hour news
Was
cycle.
it a discussion or a debate?
A 24-hour news cycle, and there are some who move on a much wider scale, and this is what is something that we
No,
need to
I'll tell you the
appreciate
difference.
better.
He's moving in millennium, civilizational.
No, 1 minute,
Yes.
1 minute.
Yes,
worry about
and
the
why
air we breathe.
not?
Worry about
and
today's
why
air we
not?
breathe.
We are the
One-
only
1
civilization
minute.
that continues to flourish.
1
the
minute.
world's oldest
One-
flourishing
I-
civilization.
I just have one thing to say. In SIR, in the debate on the electoral reforms, the opposition came up with specific demands. Okay, this is what we want to change in the electoral system. Right?
Excellent.
What happened in the Vande Mataram debate? What did the government decide?
What
and
was the
came up with the
opposition
idea that
asked
this
to
is what is
achieve?
to be happen.
Let him answer now. What was the biggest takeaway from the Vande Mataram debate, Gaurav?
That this generation also knows what India has been
That they
through.
have been talking about it since long time.
Very good. Future generations will also get to know.
Okay.
Why this apprehension कि भविष्य में ना पता चल जाए कि भूतकाल में क्या हुआ
किसने
था?
कहा है?
You know,
तुम
तो
पढ़ते नहीं होता इसका मतलब नहीं है बाकी लोग तो पढ़ते नहीं है
अच्छा मतलब
People-
I
नहीं,
completely
ये गलत
agree.
है।
सबसे ज्यादा पढ़े लिखे तो राजदीप
नहीं,
ही
मैंने ये
है।
नहीं
राजदीप
कहा।
के अलावा
नहीं,
बाकी
ये
सब
कहना
अनपढ़
कि-
है।
नहीं,
बाकी
ये
तो सभी
कहना कि
अनपढ़
nobody
है।
knows,
वो
nobody
पढ़ते
knows.
नहीं
What
हो।
is this nobody
It
knows?
is just future generations will
चलो,
also get
चलो,
to know.
okay.
And as far as you are saying, where was RSS, where was so and so? Arey, it is for them to decide where they were. If you
Why
look
do
at
we need this
Okay, I will
debate?
resort
and
to
if
more
you- if you
tactics.
look at
Sorry.
electoral
I will
results,
resort-
if you look at electoral results,
Okay.
they seem to be doing much
Of course
better.
they are.
You
Of
know,
course.
so
By
that
your
also
confusing
answers.
issues.
Now
No, I
I'm
am
going to
not.
I'm going to
Okay.
resort to speaker tactics and
Please,
start
sorry.
muting now.
Sorry.